All right, and welcome in to the North Florida Prep Report. Here, Andrew Jupe giving you the top games here in the area. Obviously, we have a full slate here in the Big Bend, North Florida region, but we wanted to give you a couple here to keep your eye on that you should really zoom in, or maybe if you catch us before the games, that you want to check in on and where you want to go or where you want to watch your football here in the prep scene for North Florida. Of course, as always, make sure you comment in below where I got it wrong, games that I missed, why I'm being a villain and attacking you for not focusing on your favorite team. You got to let me know, of course, because that's how social media works. But as we get into it, thesis statement here, overarching theme that popped up to me is, what are we doing? It's rivalry week now, week one. It's like when FSU and Miami used to play the first week of the season, you get the big one out of the way, and the rest of the season, if you don't get it, you're playing catch up here. We've got three really big rivalries in the games that we're going to highlight here today, and that's starting with the top dog. When both teams are up for it, biggest, baddest rivalry here, cross sport, any school you want to put a combination in, Gabi and Rickards. It's mean. First time since 2017, both of these teams are coming into the contest undefeated. Of course, Gabi was 6-0 at that point. Rick was 5-0 at that point, and that was part of a really monster 11-2 year for Gabi. So both of these teams getting some positivity coming out of the preseason. This should be huge because it starts in the trenches. We know they're going to have the skill players. We know they're going to have the talent, and we know they're going to have the highlight reels this season. But the trenches on both sides of the ball for both teams were dynamic in the preseason. For Rick, it looks like they were parting the Dead Sea. Carlise Price went off last week, $180 and 2 touchdowns. And on the other side for Godby, they gave Lazarus Chambers all day. It was like he had time to walk around the track over there at Tharp Street 3 or 4 times with the amount of protection that he had in the pocket, and he was dropping dimes last week. So which team wins the battle of the trenches? That's going to be the key for the big rivalry. Skipping on down, let's keep it in town. Another big matchup, Leon and St. John Paul II. Both of these teams in a prove-it stage, I think, for a lot of people, the neutral fan in the area, right? So, of course, coming out of the McGriff era, Leon on the upswing. And then, of course, you got your new head coach Mosley coming in. So what's he about? How's that system adapting? And then on the other side, you have St. John Paul II. Tremaine Hughes Jr. has since graduated. And, of course, he was such a do-everything absolute baller for St. John Paul II. How do they fill in and get it going from here on forward? So both of these teams, unfortunately, stumbled a little bit in the preseason, but they have some good film to look on, looking for a bounce back. But I think both of these squads an opportunity to capture this game over at Leon. Of course, they go to school in the state of Florida, so this is a great kind of prove-it game. Kemp Peoples, DJ Figures, I look for them offensively. They're going to be keys for Leon here. Can they push it? Can they get it going here for Leon? And it'll kind of set the table for what they're going to look like in an all-Tallahassee district for the Lions. And then the same thing over on the other side, 5A and 1A, all Tallahassee Big Bend districts. So super fun to watch. So let's go to game number 3. A little bit out west for some people here in the Big Bend, but of course Marietta and Walton. So it's a 48-14 game last year. I think it'll be a little closer out western here. Marietta got a little fun and gun element to them. They're not all run like they have been in the past. But, of course, a lot of returning players here for Walton. I expect them to be scoring, but it should be an exciting showcase. It is not going to be that 48-14 scoreline that we saw from a season ago. Of course, you got Bettenhausen here for Walton, slinging at the quarterback position. They've also got Sampson coming in for Freeport. He's a 1,000-yard rusher, 10-touchdown guy. But like we said, Marietta with R.J. Mays, he can really drop it in there. I love his accuracy at the quarterback position for Marietta. Loves what he brings to the table. Monster senior class here for Marietta. 20-plus, I've been told. So they should be fun to watch. They should be confident. A lot of playing experience here for the Bulldogs. And they're going to give Walton a little bit of a run for their money. So let's keep it going. Area teams heading out of the area now. So, of course, this has been kind of all in region. Childs, the Timberwolves, going to head over to Dothan, Alabama, out west, play a big 7A school who had a really good season last year. I think they were 8-3, 9-3, something like that, but returning a lot of players, including their 1,000-yard rusher, as well as some key offensive linemen. McCain Williams is headed for Southern Miss. They've also got a North Alabama commit. I think Barnes, his name, the wide receiver over there for them. Some explosiveness on the outside. Kiefer Childs is going to be the front seven. Of course, on defense, Cameron Montez has been getting after it lately. I really like him on the D-line for the Childs Timberwolves. He's going to have to take care of Williams, negate him so they can blow up the rest of the offensive line, because it's a run-heavy team over there in Dothan. And so they're going to try to ground and pound a little bit, trying to get after it, trying to shut it down. So the front seven, which I think is a strength of Childs, is going to have to come up big. And then, like we said, the offense, returning year for Jacobs. Can he lead them? He's exciting with his dual threat capabilities to do a little bit of magic on the offensive end. And so hopefully they can go forward there and provide an exciting game. But you look at the big power here for Dothan. Don't rule out Childs year 2 in that Reagan's era. Let's move on. Game number 4 here. It's an all-county matchup just to the east here of Tallahassee. It's going to be Hamilton County and Jefferson County. So Jefferson County, of course, coming out of the new head coach here with Coach Powell, trying to restore the greatness, trying to restore and bring back that fresh taste of state championships and contending programs and successful seasons. 6-time state champ is Jefferson. Don't forget that, out to the east, but they're going against a tough opponent, Hamilton County, who got the better of them last year in this matchup. But they don't have their big running back, and they don't have their rusher, so Spates and Tarver. Spates, of course, the big running back. Tarver, the big offensive lineman who is taking care of business. Both of those guys are gone. So Langhorne, once again coming back here for Jefferson County at the quarterback position. I like him. He had 2 touchdowns in this game last year. Can he go and do it again and help lead Jeffco on a rebound coming out of a nice victory out of the preseason, which they won 28-0. Hamilton County, like we said, losing some players. They're coming off a tough defeat from Valwood in the preseason. I believe it was 41-7. How do they bounce back? How do they get after it? But it should be a fun rural contest going forward here today. So those are your kind of top games in the area. So we have the big showcase, but we also want to throw in one more bonus game for you because it's going to be really exciting. We talked about the rivalry games going on in the area, and when I say one bonus game, I actually mean 2 bonus games. One's going to be out west, one's going to be out east of Tallahassee here. So, of course, one of the oldest rivalries in the state, Blountstown and Liberty County. They're separated by a time zone and just a stone's throw away from each other there in the central eastern time zone split. But, of course, Boylesfield's going to be rocking over there today. That's going to be a really fun contest over at Blountstown as both those teams get started. And then another big rivalry, the Oaken Bucket. Old Oaken Bucket is going to be on campus there once again, up for grabs on the sideline there at Columbia. Columbia will be hosting Suwanee. So it's been 11 straight victories here for Columbia. So the Dogs are chomping at the bit to break the streak. So the Tigers are going to try to push it to 12. Unfortunately, around the excitement of this game, there is a little bit of unfortunate news as big injuries are kind of looming large. Knee injuries, too. Senior linebacker leader Socarez here for Suwanee, and then on the other side, Dixon with an MCL sprain, according to the Lake City Reporter. He will be a no-go here for this contest, so they'll jump to their backup. Should be a fun ride here, especially with celebrities being on hand for their 30th anniversary of the Tiger Dome, as I like to call it, Tiger Stadium down there. 30th anniversary. They're going to have alumni from the state championship team. And then also, for those from the FSU community or the high school football community here last 10-plus years, Timmy Jernigan has been working with the defensive line, and it's been said that he's going to be on the coaching staff working with the D-line here. Of course, a beast in high school, beast at FSU, and so a little extra something here for this rivalry game as we get going. But of course, many fun games to watch. Enjoy the Friday night. Have fun along the ride. Week 1 getting ready to get after it. And hopefully you have a good little slate of games or a couple options here in the area that you may enjoy or get into.